You ever get that feeling on a Friday where the shop just smells, right? It's that mix of spent motor oil, fresh cut cedar, and the ghost of every mistake I made since Monday. It's a good perfume, Alex.
Speak for yourself. To me, it smells like you've been sanding for 6 hours and forgot to turn the dust collector on again.
Look, that collector is loud, and sometimes I just want to be alone with my thoughts and a 120 grit pad. But you're right. The air is a bit texture forward today. Welcome back to the den, folks. We're diving into the 2026 forecast today. Tools that don't hate your joints, why the trades are basically the new Ivy League, and how to stop robots from stealing your views on the gram.
It's a lot to pack in before the weekend. But first, can we talk about your new favorite toy? I saw you unboxing that Wear a kit like it was a sacred relic.
Listen, I used to think a wrench was just a hunk of steel designed to bark your knuckles when it inevitably slips off a rusted nut. But this new Wear a Cyclops stuff, it's like they studied the human hand instead of just the bolt. I've reached an age where my wrists have a limited number of clicks left in them before they start sounding like a bowl of Rice Krispies. Using tools that don't fight your anatomy is the smartest investment you'll ever make.
So you're saying you're getting old.
I'm saying I'm becoming vintage. But for the folks just starting out, you don't need the German-engineered Chrome Symphony, that Stanley 65-piece kit we've been talking about. It's still the undisputed heavyweight champion of the I just moved into my first place and the sink is leaking world. It's organized, it's honest, and it fits under a car seat.
I actually bought that kit for my brother. It's the only thing in his apartment that isn't made of particle board and hope. But speaking of upgrades, I saw you installing some very expensive-looking black boxes on the walls. Are we finally getting a shop soundtrack that isn't just your AM radio humming?
We have graduated, Alex. Bose dropped this new wireless ecosystem that's actually built for environments like this. Usually sawdust and high-end electronics are about as compatible as oil and water, but these things are sealed up tight. Having high-fidelity sound, when you're 12 hours into a production run, it changes the chemistry of the room. It stops the get me out of here feeling and turns it into a flow state.
Flow states are great, but let's talk about the money. We're seeing some insane numbers in the labor market. JLL is putting out data that makes a BA in marketing look like a hobby compared to a journeyman's card.
It's the great pendulum swing. For 30 years, everyone was told the only way to a stable life was sitting in a cubicle under fluorescent lights, moving spreadsheets around. Meanwhile, the people who actually know how the physical world fits together became a rare species. If you're a young person looking at the horizon through 2034, becoming an electrician or an HVAC specialist isn't just a backup plan, it's a goldmine.
Specifically in the data center world, right? I saw Meta, the Facebook people, are basically hunting for tradespeople now.
Exactly. Everyone talks about the cloud, but the cloud is actually just a massive hot building in the middle of a desert that needs a staggering amount of cooling. They don't need coders to keep the servers from melting. They need people who understand high precision liquid cooling. If you want to write your own paycheck for the next decade, go get a certification in specialized cooling systems. It's the new frontier. It's not just fixing the AC anymore. It's keeping the brain of the world from overheating.
I love that. The brain of the world. Though speaking of brains, some of the brains at Instagram actually did something useful for once.
Don't sound so surprised. For years, the algorithm was basically a thief's paradise. You'd spend 40 hours building a bespoke cabinet, film the whole process, post it, and then some aggregator account would rip your video, put a neon caption over it, and get 5 million views while you got 50. It felt like shouting into a void that was stealing your lunch.
But they're finally cracking down on the copycats. Original content is being prioritized. That's huge for the people in this community who are actually getting their hands dirty.
It's a massive win for the makers. Instagram realized that without the people actually making things, their platform is just a hall of mirrors. If you're at home right now and you've been hesitant to show your behind the scenes because you think your shop is too messy or you don't have a fancy camera, stop it. People want the grit. They want to see the moment the wood splits and you have to pivot. They want the truth. 84% of creators are finding their lane right now. The maker mogul path is wide open, but you have to be the one holding the camera.
It's about building a brand around your actual skills, not just a finished product. Which leads perfectly into that story we saw this week. The one about the woodworker who used a lathe to climb out of poverty.
That one hit me right in the chest. We focus a lot on the business of making, but we forget that woodworking is a fundamental ladder. This maker started with basically nothing, a few hand-me-down tools and a pile of scrap. But he realized that if he could turn a square piece of timber into a round bowl, he had something the world valued. It wasn't just about the money, it was about the agency, the realization that I can change my physical reality with my hands.
It's the ultimate grit story. No venture capital, no fancy degree, just a guy, some sawdust, and a refusal to stay where he was.
That's why we're pushing those joinery masterclasses and the community builds. People think they're buying a plan for a coffee table. They're not. They're buying the ability to look at a pile of raw lumber and not feel intimidated. Once you master a blind mortise and tenon, or you finally figure out why your table saw is burning the cherry wood, you start looking at every problem in your life as something you can just measure, cut, and fix. And
So, what's the Friday takeaway for the TigerDen family before they head out to the garage or the job site tomorrow?
don't wait for the tool to be perfect or the shop to be clean or the algorithm to be on your side. We're in a moment where the world is desperate for people who can actually do things. Whether you're pivoting your career into high precision HVAC or you're just trying to figure out how to build a bookshelf that doesn't wobble, lean into the friction. The friction is where the heat is, and the heat is what moves you forward.
And maybe buy a better set of wrenches before your knuckles give up on you.
Yeah, and that, buy the Weras. Your 60-year-old self will thank you. Now get out of here. Go make something that didn't exist when you woke up this morning.
You forgot the dust collector again, didn't you?
I like the ambiance, Alex. I like the ambiance.